condition is not good, but since I have accepted the assignment, I had I had to stop the class today. But since only two class left, I want to continue for one, and we will have a discussion today. Okay, I will not teach. I will teach something, but we will have a face-to-face interaction. Uh, So, so we'll have interaction today, and we'll cover that yesterday Subhajit asked me that what content that we'll cover today, that is regarding the bureaucracy, role of bureaucracy in policy formulation and implementation and analysis. And there is also one unit also, one content within that one, that is the monitoring of policy. And in between that, before discussing going into the detail, I am taking my some snacks, everything, and my voice will change. So don't take it otherwise. Okay. Hello, my dear learners.
Okay, sir.
Okay. ମୁଁ ଖାଇନି ନା ମୁଁ ମାଡ଼ାମାଣି ଖାଇବାକୁ ଦେଇଗଲେଣି ଏଠି ହେଲା କି ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କ୍ଲାସ୍ରେ ବସିଛୁ ଏବେ ତ ବନ୍ଦ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ବନ୍ଦ କରି ଖାଇହେବନି ସେ ପଢ଼େଇବା ଭିତରେ ମୁଁ ସେଇଥିରେ ଭିଡ଼ିଓଟାକୁ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଦେବି ତେଣୁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ହଁ ଆମେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ପଢ଼ିବା ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଡୁ ୟୁ ମିନ୍ ବାଇ ବ୍ୟୁରୋକ୍ରାସି or we known as a bureaucrat. Anyone of you will say what is bureaucracy? Hello? Any one of you will tell me what is bureaucracy? Or who is a bureaucrat? Santosh Kumar. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Or
Sir,
you don't?
bureaucracy means officials.
One point is there. Whether since I have put my videos, that's why you are not interested to continue with me to have a discussion. अरे मु वीडियो बंद कर देछि बोली कि सेइत्रा कि तुम कथावार्ता करिया चाहूनो कि
No, sir, some problem नहीं sir. Sir, it's okay.
अरे से कथा नहीं मु एक्चुअली खाउछि बुझे
आगे sir,
मते
ठीक
आइ
ଅଛି.
मु फील मते ठीक भलो लागिबनी बुझियोति तेणु सेतिले वीडियो बंद करछि हां को हेलो
Sir, bureaucracy means the officials, those who are implements rules and
what did you say bureaucracy are the officials
who implements government policies and rules uh, in administrative section.
Soumya
Yes, sir. Sir, bureaucracy is a system of administration. It is a chain of, it is a chain of from top official to lower level employees.
all are coming under the banner umbrella of bureaucracy.
Yes, sir.
What they do?
So there are different departments or different units for specific tasks.
I think you did not understand my question. My question was what they do.
They implement policy. They implement policy and regulations.
Suta?
Yes, sir. Bureaucracy is a system through which the important decisions are taken by the officials and implementation of decisions.
Who are the persons, who are the stakeholders in the policy formulation or in the making of laws or the policy? Who are the persons involved in policy making? Can you tell me? Subhajit?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Who are
Sir,
the
bureaucracy.
persons? My question is who are the persons involved in policy making or rule making?
So actually, executive branch of the government, they have to be included in the policy making and the rule making of the governments. And those are
Only
maybe
the
the ministers and all the bureaucrats, the chief secretary, and consist of CM, PM. These are maybe.
Sudha,
Yes, sir.
you tell me what do you mean by bureaucracy?
So, bureaucracy, it is a system where state officials uh, they elect their representatives to make decisions to
You
make
repeat the sentence. You repeat it. Your
so
voice.
Presentation.
hello, sir,
Hello.
is my voice audible?
Yes.
So it is a system where the state officials are elected as representatives to make decisions, to construct, to structure policies, laws, and regulations that are implemented.
Can anyone define bureaucracy? Santosh, can you define bureaucracy?
Sir, bureaucrats are advisors to policymakers. What they, I think they
Bureaucrats are
do elected
bureaucrats are the advisors.
advisors
They give advice
to
to whom?
policy making. Or to government, or they draft bills and providing data for information system.
Yes.
Also, they keep records and manage data. Also,
All the answers are correct. I cannot deny your answer. But since you said that bureaucracy or bureaucrats are the advisor, to whom they give advice? That is my question to you, Santosh.
they give advice to the elected representatives of people
They
like
are known
MLA
as what?
MPs.
They are elected representatives are known as what in administration?
They
Hello,
are legislators,
legislator or the politicians, or you can say in other
policymakers,
words, they are ministers.
ministers.
Okay,
Okay.
they are legislators or not?
Yes, sir.
Devadatta, hello, Devadatta, your audio is up. Devadatta, hello, Devadatta Mishra left. ପାଠ ପଢେଇବେ ସାରେ ପାଠ ପଚାରିବେନି ପଚାରିଲେ ପଳେଇବେ ପିଲା କ୍ଲାସରେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ଏନିୱେ ମୁଁ ଖାଏ ମୋ ମୁହଁ ନ ଦେଖିଲେ ମୋତେ ବି ଭଲ ଲାଗୁନି ଯେ କଥା ହେଉଛି ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଉଛି ବ୍ୟୁରୋକ୍ରାସି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏ କମ୍ବିନେସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଟୁ ୱାର୍ଡସ୍ one is the bureau another is classy bureau means desk or table clear do you understand will you write
Yes, sir.
you can note it down note it down bureaucracy as the term itself reveals combination of two words ଆଗ ବୁଝିଯାଅ ତାପରେ ଲେଖିବ ମୁଁ ଡାକିଦେବି ଟିକେ ବୁଝିଯାଅ ମୁଁ କହିବି bureaucracy is the term itself when we used in administration the term itself connotes a lot of things it reveals a lot of things and when we say bureaucracy that is one is bureau B-U-R-E-A-U bureau bureau means desk or you can say it is in other words it is a table as you know very well crassy that is the word that has been derived from the Greek word kratia or kratos. Kratos means the power. So when power is there in the table, or the person who is sitting before the table is exercising the power. That means the person sitting before the table or the desk, who is that? The official, or the, you can say the employee or the officers. In, who is enjoying the power? What kind of power? All kinds of power relating to state. That means the political. Is it political power or the administrative power? The power which is very legitimate and legal one. Could you follow my point? It is the legit, he is exercising, who is sitting on the chair before the table, is exercising or enjoying the legitimate power of the state. And what he does something sitting on the chair before the table for the betterment of the common people. And what we say, what he makes, we say it is as the law or the policy. There is a difference between law and policy. Laws are made for controlling the human behavior within a society to make them disciplined, to make them progressive, and they have to adhere the rules as framed by the government. And in case of policy, there are different, in different subjects, or if you look at the policies, how it is being formulated, formulation of policy, it relates with the different aspects of human being. Relating to our health, there is health policy, and relating to your education, there is also education policy. For example, new education policy 2020 has already been introduced. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
अरे कम से कम तो जने अधे के हाँ टिके कुआ एजुकेशनल पॉलिसी अच्छी ना नहीं
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
हेल्थ पॉलिसी अच्छी ना नहीं
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
एग्रीकल्चरल पॉलिसी इज देयर और नॉट
Yes, sir.
इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी अच्छी ना नहीं
Yes, sir.
फॉरेन पॉलिसी अच्छी ना नहीं अच्छी ना नहीं यारे
Yes, sir.
व्हाट इज फॉरेन पॉलिसी your relation with your neighbor, that is the foreign policy of your home. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes.
तब माने मु एमती कहूथु तब माने सुनु दो कि उत्तर दबनी हेलो
Thank you, sir.
अरे प्रथम कथा है जेतेबेले आमे विभिन्न पॉलिसी आमे कहूचे फॉरेन पॉलिसी रो अर्थ कोन संतोष
ଆମେ ମାନେ ବାହାର ଦେଶ ସହିତ ଆମର କେମିତି ସମ୍ପର୍କ ଅଛି ଆମେ କେମିତି ତା ସହିତ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟ ଏକ୍ସପୋର୍ଟ କି ଅନ୍ୟ କୌଣସି ରିଲେସନ
Sir, maybe international dealing ହେଇପାରିବ.
इंटरनेशनल
के कहला इंटरनेशनल डीलिंग
Sir, सौम्य.
थैंक यू वेरी मच इंटरनेशनल डीलिंग दैट इंक्लूड्स व्हाट को एस्पेक्ट रे डीलिंग करू आमे
Sir, import export जो हमर होची.
खाली ओनली इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट आउ
Sir, politically भी.
getting favor of other nations को क्षेत्र रे हमें पाउचे पॉलिटिकल क्षेत्र रे पाउचे
आगे.
इकोनॉमिक क्षेत्र रे पाउचे ना नहीं
आगे, sir.
कल्चरल क्षेत्र रे पाउचे ना पाउ नहीं
Yes, sir.
एजुकेशनल क्षेत्र रे पाउचे ना पाउ नहीं
Yes, sir. In every aspect.
सब एस्पेक्ट रे नहीं सब एस्पेक्ट रे नो very limited issues are there which
Okay, sir.
govern the nation states.
Again.
That is your foreign policy. Industrial policy कौन करे? सुची सुता. Industrial policy deals with what?
So ଯେତିକି ସବୁ industries ଅଛି ସେଇଗୁଡାକୁ ଚଳେଇବ ଠିକ ସେ formulation କରିବା ପାଇଁ।
हाँ बोलो. तू तो पानी देगी दो. हाँ कौन हला माँ कौन?
ତ ଯେତିକି ଆମର industries ଅଛି ସେଗୁଡିକୁ ଚଳେଇବା ପାଇଁ ସବୁ law ଗୁଡିକ formulation କରାଯାଇଛି।
Industrial entity ଯେତିକ ରହୁଛି ତା ପାଇଁ NOC, land measurement, land allotment, environmental issues, supply of electricity, water connection, ଅନେକ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ଜିନିଷ ଦରକାର. Lot of things is required for establishment of an industry. And before, suppose when one industry is established, you might have seen a group of people or a particular the villagers, they are shifted from one place to another place. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes, sir.
For example, to take example of POSCO, which was going to be established at Paradip, but ultimately what happened? When the policy was framed for POSCO and the land allotment, land acquisition department, the officers when they went to the spot, what happened? One Sarat Chandra Sao, under the leadership of Sarat Chandra Sao, Paradip, the Kujang area, from Kujang area, what the people started protesting. That Panavaras, Jota Kochip, Panavaras cultivation, pan chas to Portuguese, pan chas, that will be destroyed. So they objected, and ultimately what happened? Even the voices of the people were surprised by the government. 1 minute. Hello? Hello? हाँ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଓ ନେଇ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ତାହେଲେ ରଖିଥାନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଯାଇକି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ସରିଲେ 8:30 ପରେ ମୁଁ ଆଣିବି ହଁ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ମୁଁ 8:30 ପରେ ଯିବି ଆଣିବି 8:30ରେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଓଭର ହେବ ତାପରେ ଆଣିବି ଆଜ୍ଞା So what happened? Then ultimately that was the construction of POSCO that has been stopped and ultimately POSCO went to Gujarat to establish own factory. That means when the policy, when it is formulated, when the what that policies are the plans, try to understand. अरे ମୁଁ ସେଠି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା କହୁଥିଲି ସେ ମୁଁ ଭୁଲିଗଲିଣି ଯେତେବେଳେ when we are defining the bureaucracy as you say they are the officials or the person who is sitting before the table, he is enjoying some powers. He is called as a bureaucrat or the officials. And someone, either I have forgotten whether it is Sushmita or Soumya, from the top to bottom, someone said, from the top to bottom, those who are involved in the policy formulation and policy implementation, they can be called as bureaucrats. And as you know, there is higher echelon and there is lower echelon and the middle echelon. In the higher echelon, the topmost civil servants or the bureaucrats, they only go through the policies once it is being framed by the middle level officers. And lower level officers, lower level bureaucracy, they provide the facts, information, figures, data to middle level officers, those who are actually, you can say the middle level bureaucrats, like your state civil servant and senior state civil servant, they are really involved in the policy formulation and in the policy implementation. And the higher level officers, higher level bureaucrats, those who heads the department or one organization, what they go through when it is submitted, the policy and plan or program they are submitted before they are for the disposal, then they go through it and they only make certain correction or sometimes they add something or they delete something, and it is submitted for the final approval by the minister and to be passed in the legislature or in the legislative assembly in this case of state, or in the parliament in the case of the senate. So, who are really the bureaucrats? Generally, genuinely, if you look at this, the word bureaucracy, then the person sitting before the table. For example, I am a teacher. I am also sitting before the table. Can I be? I am also sitting before the table and I am writing something and I am making some rules, regulation for the benefit of my students. Can you say that I am a part of bureaucracy? No.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Am I a part of bureaucracy?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. ସୁମୟା ମୁଁ ଏମିତି କହିସାରିଲା ପରେ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଜଣ ଜଣଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରି ଜଣ ଜଣଙ୍କ ନାଁ ଧରି କହିବି ତମେ କହିବ ନା ମୁଁ ପଢେଇ ଦଉଛି ସେମିତି ତମକୁ ବୁଝିଯାଅ ଯାହା ବୁଝିବ ବୁଝିବ ଆଉ ସବୁଠୁ ଦୁଃଖ ଲାଗେ କଣ ଜାଣିଛ ଗୋଟେ ଟିଚର
ସାର୍
ଯେହେତୁ
ଏଇଟା
ଗୋଟେ
ବହୁତ
ଟିଚରଟେ କିଛି ପଚାରୁଥିବ ପିଲାମାନେ ରେସ୍ପଣ୍ଡ ନ କରେ ସବୁଠୁ କଷ୍ଟ ଲାଗେ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ସୋ ପେନ୍ଫୁଲ୍ when you will become assistant professor you will become professor you will realize if your students they do not reply and they do not interact with you when you put question, what will be the feeling that you will understand on the very day? Remember this one. Only one class left. Tomorrow we will cover it and we will discuss about that assignment anyway. So that is called as they are called as bureaucrats, and as you know very well, the bureaucrats they have their lot of choice, application of their choice, intelligence and selection procedure. The bureaucrats when they are selected, their procedure is very cumbersome. It is very difficult when they enter because when they are recruited, they are selected. They have to come. They have to enter into the service through passing a number of stages. That means they have to qualify at different levels of entry point. Either when, for example, if you look at the Indian civil service or the bureaucrats, those who are entering to the service, they have to qualify in the preliminary examination. And as you know very well, that when they submit their application, that application may be rejected. And when their application is rejected, they have not properly filled up the application form, that application may be cancelled and that may be rejected by the commission. And when commission rejects the application form, commission also gives the reason why it is rejected. And subsequently, those applications found correct, those students or those who fulfill all the eligibility criteria, and it is when it is being scrutinized, the applications are scrutinized by the commission or by the recruiting agency. Then after, they send the call letter for appearing the preliminary examination. As you know very well, large number of students, large number of aspirants from the open market, they apply and they appear the examination. And we have a delimination process. We start a delimination process, and mostly a large number of candidates are rejected. That means through the preliminary examination. And subsequently, those who are selected in the prelim, they have to appear the main examination, and even they have to appear Odia or English. English paper, there is one English paper or essay paper is there, and the English language paper is there, and they have to qualify. And subsequently, they are called for interview, and just after your interview, there is also medical test and number of processes are there which they have to face. And after completion of this process, then the selection is made and the merit list is published, and it has to be approved by the President of India. Since they are the civil servants and their central government employees, they have qualified in the civil service, it has to be approved by the President of India. Once it is approved, then the appointment letter is issued to them and they join in the service. And there is the point, what I say, they remain in that service till superannuation. Okay? Hello?
Yes.
All those persons, they remain in service till they complete the age of superannuation, that is the age of 60. Okay? So they remain in office, that means they select, when they are selected, they join in the service, they remain in service till completion of their retirement age. And regarding the policy making or policy formulation, bureaucrats, they play important role. As it is given in your book, we will go through your book. I will just cover the, the points that is given in your book. Just a minute, let me see. That one, okay. So public policy process, the formulation of public policy implementation are two distinct but closely interrelated functions of the government. Making a policy and implementing. For example, when the NEP was implemented, when NEP was formulated, the number of bureaucrats, number of educationists, and number of civil society organizations, they were involved in framing the NEP. And as you know, if you go through the NEP of 2020, then you will find that the NEP is totally based on the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo. That particularly integral education which he has talked about, that has been reflected in NEP. Because Sri Aurobindo, he said that nothing should be taught. If you would like to write the points, you can note it down. Nothing should be taught. Education should proceed from near to far, and mind has to be consulted, and the gap between the teacher and taught should be minimized. These are the three important focal points which has been suggested by Sri Aurobindo, that nothing should be taught. You have to inculcate the quality in the minds of the students. And the student, they will choose their own subjects in which they have the interest. And particularly, and the gap between the teacher and taught should be minimized. So generally, and as you know very well, and the teachers nowadays, they are becoming more student friendly. Unless you become student friendly, unless you behave with the student properly, just like a friend, then they will not accept you, because the mindset of the people, they are going on change. Anyway, to the point, that is the policy formulation. When policy is formulated, that means all the stakeholders of the society are involved. And there one person, when policy are formulated, the visions, whether that the policy, when just after the formulation, then when it will be implemented, it will have a lot of consequences. It will have a lot of consequences. If any policy or plans or programs of the government becomes failure, ultimately it is the failure of the, it is considered as the failure of the government, not the bureaucrats. Because the bureaucrats, they remain behind the screen and they help only the ministers. They guide the minister, they, while the rules are framed or the plans are framed or plans are framed. As you know very well, the bureaucrats, what they do, they have a particular expertise, they have a particular mindset, and they have gathered the knowledge out of experience. So they are the competent person, they guide the minister. And how they guide the minister? As you know very well, when the rules are framed, plans are made, or policies are made in the parliament, or programs are finalized in the parliament, since the political people, the minister, they are the laymen, and they do not know anything regarding how the policies are to be framed and what are the factors that influence the policy, They do not know anything. They are the laymen. They are called as the laymen. That means they do not have the expertise. They do not have the knowledge, and they do not have any information because of the paucity of time. Because they remain in office for a period of either 3 years or 4 years, maximum 5 years. Because as you have seen, might have seen, very frequently it is at the discretion of the Prime Minister or at the discretion of the Chief Minister, the ministers they are changed. And as you know very well, the government when it will dissolve, nobody knows. But since the politicians, the ministers, they are the laymen, they do not have knowledge, they do not have expertise knowledge, or they do not have any information, fact and figure with them. They are only concerned with the public relation. So automatically they do not have any idea how to make the policy. And as because of the temporary stay, remember this one, they remain in office for a temporary period, either maximum for 5 years or 4 years or 3 years, as the people determines as the government. If it is a stable government, then they will continue for 5 years. But you think about the bureaucrats, those who remain in office for a long period, for nearly they serve nearly more than 30 years. And the person, you just compare, the person who is staying in the political field as a politician or as a minister remains in office for 2 to 3 years or 5 years maximum. But a person who is staying, having special qualification, having special training, everything.
Excuse me,
So they remain. Huh?
sir. ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ମାମାଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ଡକ୍ଟରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଉଛି ତ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ କ୍ଲାସ୍
Huh?
କରୁଛି।
You can leave. You can leave and you can go.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So what happens when the bureaucrats they remain in office for more than 30 years? So definitely their role is very important, and they know what kind of policy has to be chalked out, what kind of policy has to be formulated, and when it is implemented, what will be the consequence, what will be the impact in society. They know, they visualize, they predict, and so considering all the aspects of the how it will impact the life of the people, everything, whether it will have a bad consequence upon the people, keeping all these things in mind, policy are framed. And particularly when policies are framed in the legislature, it is the backbone, the skeleton. You can note it down. The skeleton of the policy are framed in the legislature. You can note it down. The skeleton of the policy. Suchishmita, Santosh Kumar, are you writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Note it down. Soumya,
Yes, sir.
no doubt. The skeleton of the policy are framed in the legislature and rest is left to the bureaucrats, and rest is left to the bureaucrats for making in detail, of the policy, it is given in your book also in page number 171. Public policy is laid down by the legislature or the political authority who are vested with the power of giving policy the requisite legal authority or the legislature. As I have already discussed this point. So the political people or in the legislature, when policy, the skeleton of the policy is formulated, only what they do, they just give the authenticity, the legitimacy, that they give authorize. What they authorize? It is the legitimate sanction of the parliament. You can note it down. When the policies are framed, it is not written in your book, no doubt. When policies are framed, legislature or the parliament gives a legal sanction, gives a legal sanction, gives a legal or legitimate, gives a legal or legitimate sanction to the policy. And the implementation part of the policy, the implementation part of the policy are vested in the hands of the executive. In the hands of the executive. Executive means that is the bureaucracy or the administrative officials of the government. As we say, politics administration dichotomy. आपको आमे को politics administration dichotomy. कौन को बुझे दो? Politics administration dichotomy. 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 What is the meaning of politics administration dichotomy? लिखी से लगी.
Yes, sir.
Politics administration dichotomy. Santosh Kumar. Soumya.
Yes, sir.
What is that politics? Politics relates with state. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Politics relates with state. Then administration ruling with the function of the government. Clear? Administration that relates with the implementation part. But politics relates with what? With the state, with the activities of the state. What is the role of the state? To provide better goods and services, as we have already discussed, to provide better goods and services. But how it will be provided? Through an agency, through a mechanism, through an apparatus. Apparatus means what? Jantrama, jahako ame koche mechanism boli, instrument. What is that one? That is called as administration. Administration has to ensure that quality of qualitative goods and services must be provided. How it will be ensured? Who is to look after? As you know very well in the district, CDMO regarding health sector, it is the CDMO who visits different hospitals, Chief District Medical Officer of the district, CDMO, like that. DFO, District Forest Officer, in the Department of Forest Department, he visits whether there is afforestation or there is deforestation, everything is monitors the entire activities related to forest and environment within the district. Similarly, SP, Superintendent of Police, he also in charge of the maintenance of law and order of the district, and as you know very well, District Collector, he is called as DM, District Magistrate. And why he is called as Collector? He is responsible for the collection of revenue. Yes or no, Santosh Kumar? So he is called as.
British time sir.
British time why is he known as the district magistrate? He has to maintain the law and order in the district, and if there will be law and order situation, he has to proclaim curfew. Curfew हुए ना नहीं? What is curfew? अरे curfew हुए ना नहीं? When there was riot in Bhodrak, your Gyanam Ranjan Das, he was deputed, he was posted as collector in Bhodrak district in order to maintain law and order, and there was curfew, proclamation of curfew was there. And so, why? That means different, when we look at these things, the administration has to ensure that proper care has to be taken for the people. Proper welfare. Welfare regime, that what we say, welfare regime. Now all the states, modern states, they are going to be the welfare state. आम आधुनिक राष्ट्र गुड़ाक आम कहे जनमंगलकारी राष्ट्र को कहीं लोक मान जनमंगल अर्थ कौन? It provides all kinds of facilities, and if something is not there, then it has to make a collaboration with the private persons. सरकार आजकल कौन कर PPP मोड रे जाउछनी, public private partnership. Yes or no? Hello, PPP mode is there or not? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
PPP, what does it mean?
Public-private partnership.
Public-private partnership. Public means the government, and private, both private and government, both will join their hands and they will commonly serve the people. Public-private partnership. Would you follow my point? So, this thing has been created by whom? By the bureaucrats. Because bureaucrats, they visualize something and they dream something. They have the vision of how to make the policy and what will be the consequence. Because remember it, as you know very well, the failure of a government much depends upon the bureaucrats. Yes or no? Hello? The success and the failure of a government, that much more depends upon the bureaucrats who run the administration, who are the real lawmaker, law implementator. They implement the policies, they implement the rules, regulation, everything by issuing orders, notifications. They make the laws, bylaws, everything. So, the success and failure much depends upon the bureaucrats. As you might have seen in 2024, what happened? The fate of Navin Patnaik, that is ruined because of the working of the bureaucratic style of one Tamil officer along with a number of South Indian officers. In connivance, what they did? They occupied all the important posts in Odisha, and what they did, they took away, they were involved in corruption, they allocated the lands in the name of ROR issue in favor of, and they gave lease of land to Tamil people, and ultimately what happened? The government, what was the fate of Navin Patnaik government? That broke down ultimately. So there was the failure of BJD government. So because of whom? Because of the teachers, because of the learners,
Bureaucrats.
because of the bureaucrats, the activities of the bureaucrat, it was suspicious. People suspected that these people, if they will come to power once again, then there will be dictatorial form of government and they will snatch away the property. And as you know very well, they have snatched all the things. They have taken a lot of crores of money. And as you know, you just see what their fate. What was their fate? Both and husband and wife, they took VRS, voluntary retirement. And ultimately, what will be their future? They could not remain because they thought that once they will come to the public place in Odisha, ultimately they will be severely harassed and severely beaten. So the success and failure of administration much more depends upon the working system, working style of the bureaucrats. So bureaucrats are the lawmakers and they are the implementators of the policy, public policy. So they both, the bureaucrats and the political people, they are responsible for policy making and for policy implementation. Could you follow my point? Hello? Then while the policy, 1 minute, let me see what is there. Dichotomy. In fact, the reality, administrative process and structure have always witnessed the obvious. The policy cycle generally includes, here. So how the policy is made, I am just making it very simple. You can note it down. You note down and then we will discuss. Identification of public problem, policy problem. Write down one. Number one. What are the problems? What are the problems? Problems. What are the problems area? What are the demands of the people? And what is the action of the government? I just made it very simple. Simple. Number two, focusing on specific problem of the people. Second point, focusing on the specific problem of the people or the community. Then third one, formulation of public policy. Formulation of public policy through initiatives, proper planning, involving different organizations, executive, legislative and interest groups. Executive, legislative and interest groups. Legitimization of policy. Which number? Which point it is?
Fourth one.
Fourth or fifth one? Fourth one. Write down. Legitimization of policy through the political actions of the government. Then implementation of policies through bureaucracy, public expenditure, The last one is evaluation and analysis of policy implementation. This one is very important. Evaluation and analysis of policy implementation and impact. Just see how what is public policy. This is called as public policy process. How policies are formulated. What is the first point? What I said, what are the problems? कौन कहली मु first point टा कौन डाकी जेटा को तो के anyone? Sumya?
Yes, sir. Identification of policy and problems. First, problems, then demands of people, action of government.
मु सेया कहली मु कौन गोटे कहली ताको डाकी देछु. What is the कौन anyone? Santosh Kumar? Yes, identification of problem. Then,
Identification of policy and problem.
Identification of policy.
Identification policy problem. What are the problems?
Identification of policy problem. Yes. Then what are the demands of the people?
What are the problem? Demand of the people and action of government.
What are the actions of the government? First you look at me. There are relating agricultural sector. Take for example of agricultural sector. I am going to agricultural sector. Agricultural sector रे आमे जेते पॉलिसी करबा एग्रीकल्चरल पॉलिसी कोन आमे जे पॉलिसी केमते करते आमे करते फार्मर को दवा मैन्योर और फर्टिलाइजर एट फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट सरकार प्रत्येक चाषी को मने कर 5 क्विंटाल कि 6 क्विंटाल यूरिया सार मागणा रे देते पॉलिसी करा फ्री करा जो प्लान प्रोग्राम करा जीव सरकार करेंगे ता पूर्व कौन करा जाए देख देयर विल बी ए सर्वे मन रहा मु पचारि लास्ट रे बही रे देखा सेमती कोड जगह किसी लिखाई कौन शुण देयर विल बी ए सर्वे बाय ब्यूरोक्राट्स through what through different agencies or through different groups or by social survey where a government will appoint a number of persons to go into the field and will inquire what are the real problem lies with the people. बुझीगला ना बुझीपारे सरकार जदि कौन कृषि भित्तिक पॉलिसी नीति करने को चाहते कृषि रे कौन समस्या रही एग्रीकल्चरल पॉलिसी कर किसी संस्था द्वारा इनक्वारी करेंगे सर्वे करेंगे किंबा कौन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन द्वारा सर्वे करेंगे कि सरकार निजे किसी लोक को अपॉइंटमेंट करके रियल फील्ड की पठेकी लोक सहित इंटराक्ट करके डाटा कलेक्शन करेंगे लोक मैंने एक्चुअली कौन कर लोक मान समस्या कौन बुझेगला हेलो
Yes, sir.
सेकेंड पॉइंट सरकार कौन कर इनक्वारी what are the demands of the लोक माने कौन चाहते demands of the people means what the people they want from the government what kind of action should be taken by government what is the expectation of the people in one sentence what is the expectation of the people what is the expectation of the learner from a teacher similarly तुम मैंने पाठ पढ़ा पॉलिसी विषय पाठ पढ़ा कर तो पाठ विषय तुम सरकार सार ठार कौन चाहते एक्सपेक्टेशन कौन डिमांड कर सेमती लोक मानकर कौन डिमांड अच्छी एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर में कौन चाहते से फ्री सीड्स चाहते ना फ्री इरिगेशन चाहते कौन चाहना फ्री सप्लाई ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चाहते कौन चाहते ना डिगिंग ऑफ पॉन्ड्स चाहते कौन लिफ्ट इरिगेशन चाहते कौन व्हाट इज द डिमांड ऑफ द पीपल सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम ओके प्रथमटा कौन करिवार अछि आइडेंटिफाई द प्रथम डिमा कौन है आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम आग समस्याटा को बाहर कर कौन समस्या रही समस्या जदि कौन रही लोक माने सेकेंड स्टेज लोक माने कौन चाहते लोक माने जदि कौन चाहते सरकार से अनुसार कौन एक्शन नहीं जदि सरकार नहीं एक्शन किछि तार फलाफल कौन घटी फलाफल लोक कौन पड़ी ताकू देखिकी समस्या को अनुध्यान कला परे सरकार से पॉलिसी करेंगे पॉलिसी सेकेंडटा कौन कहली तुमको एजेंडा सेटिंग और फोकसिंग ऑन द वेरी स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम स्वतंत्र भाव में कौड़िक मौलिक समस्या आमे कौन करू बेले बेले आमे प्लान प्रोग्राम करदो जो गुड़िक लोक मानकर रियल प्रॉब्लम को समाधान करे नहीं बेसिक प्रोब्लेम जो गुड़िक लोक मान थाए कौटा प्रथम समाधान हवा दरकार बेसिक प्रोब्लेम कौन रिलेटिंग टू व्हाट लोक माने भलरे खाइबे टू हैव ए डिसेंट वे ऑफ लाइफ से हम कहितली व्हाट इज द ह्यूमन राइट्स दैट एंश्योर टू हैव ए बेटर और क्वालिटेटिव लाइफ और टू हैव ए डिसेंट वे ऑफ लाइफ to ensure decent way of life the what to ensure आमे लोक मान कौन द बेसिक नीड्स आज आमे जानी कौन बेसिक नीड्स कोड़ी को फूड फूड पॉलिसी इज देयर और नॉट हेलो
Yes, sir.
Yes,
फूड
sir.
पॉलिसी इज देयर सरकार फूड पॉलिसी करते ना करते नहीं एंड फॉर दैट टू एंश्योर implementation of food policy one corporation has been established that is FCI Food Corporation of India to purchase, to procure rice, everything from the market. Procurement is there. Procurement of rice is there. Storage is another factor. Then polished goods has to be ensured. It has to be polished and it will be supplied to the people through public distribution system PDS. लोक मान को दिया चाउल बंटा हो मागला ताले बेसिक प्रथम कौन we have to see what are the basic problems relating to human life संबंधी कोड़ी को बेसिक फोकल पॉइंट डाकी गोटे फोकल पॉइंट फोकस का ऊपर दिया बेसिक प्रॉब्लम ऊपर बेसिक प्रॉब्लम मौलिक समस्या कोटा मौलिक समस्या को संबंधी होइतो गोटा हला जल संबंधी होइतो गोटा जंगल संबंधी होइतो जा जेमति कुआ होची एबे व्हाट द ट्राइबल पीपल दे डिमांड 3J. 3J means tinta jejo. No, 3J means Jala, Jami, Jungle. Jala, Jamin, Jungle. It is their basic needs. It has to be ensured, it has to be protected. When government allowed the aluminium company to establish in Niyamagiri, what they did, the people of Niyamagiri, they protected. That Jal Jami Jungle is our fundamental right, is our right, and it is the responsibility of the government to ensure it. Why the government, our land will be allotted to a company, to an industrial sector, and we are getting water out of it. So what are the basic problems relating to human rights? For example, regarding water supply, power supply, food, then habitat, when the people are displaced from one place to another place, then what happens? Rehabilitation, that becomes the major problem. ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ରିହାବିଲିଟେସନ କ'ଣ ବିସ୍ଥାପିତ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଥଇଥାନ କରୁଛେ ଅବସ୍ଥାନ କରାଉଛେ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ତାଙ୍କ ଲାଗି ଆମେ ପ୍ରଥମେ କ'ଣ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ କରାହେଉଛି you might have seen in the town area when the slum people they are displaced from one place to another place what the government has to undertake government କ'ଣ କରୁଛି ସୁଚିସ୍ମିତା ତମେ ତ ଦେଖିଥିବ ନା ସୌମ୍ୟ ଆଉ ସନ୍ତୋଷ କୁମାର ଆରେ ଟାଉନ ଏରିଆରେ ଯୋଉଠି ମାନେ ଯୋଉଠି ବସ୍ତି ଏରିଆ ସ୍ଲମ୍
ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଘର ବନେଇକି ତାପରେ ସ୍ଥାନାନ୍ତର
ଘର ଖାଲି ବନେଇ ଦେଲେ ହେଇଗଲା ଘର ବନା ଯାଏ
ସବୁ ସୁବିଧା ପାଣି ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରିସିଟି
କ'ଣ ସେଇଟା କେତେ କ'ଣ ଜିନିଷ କରାଯାଏ ମୁଁ ପଚାରୁଥିବା ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ କୁହ ସୌମ୍ୟ ସୁଚିସ୍ମିତା କୁହ
ସାର୍ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ସବୁ ତାଙ୍କ ବେସିକ ନିଡ୍ସ କୁ ଧ୍ୟାନରେ ରଖିକି ତାଙ୍କ ସେଠି ଘର ସବୁ ତାଙ୍କର ସବୁ ବେସିକ ନିଡ୍ସ କୁ ନେଇକି ତାଙ୍କୁ ସେଠି ରିହାବିଲିଟେସନ କରାହଉଛି
ନା ଗୋଟେ ମିନିଟ୍ ହଁ ଚିନୁ ଗୋଟେ ମିନିଟ୍ ହଁ ନମସ୍କାର ଚିନୁ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ତମେ କୋଉଠି ଜଏନ୍ କଲ ତମର ବା କରାହେଇଥିଲା କଟକ ହେଇନାହିଁ କୋଉଠି ଜଏନ୍ କଲ ହଁ ମୁଁ ଅଛି ସେଠି ରେଭେନ୍ସାରେ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ତମ ସହିତ ପରେ ସାଢ଼େ 8ଟା ତମର କେତେ ଟେବୁଲ ତମର ପକେଇଛନ୍ତି 37 ମୁଁ 38ରେ ଅଛି ହଉ ତୁମ ଠିକ ଅଛି କିଛି ବ୍ୟସ୍ତ ହୁଅନି ମୁଁ କାଲି ଗଲେ ଦେଖିବି କ'ଣ ପକେଇଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି ମୁଁ ଦେଖିବି ସେ ପେପର ହରିକା ମୁଁ କାଲି ଗଲେ ଦେଖିବି ରେଭେନ୍ସା ଗଲେ ମୁଁ ଦେଖିବି ଶୁଣ ଏ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଅନଲାଇନ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଅଛି ରେ ମା ମୁଁ ସରିଯାଉ 8:30 ପରେ ତମକୁ କଲ୍ କରିବି ହେଲା 8:30 ପରେ କରିବି ହଁ ରେ ମା ସୁଚିସ୍ମିତା କ'ଣ କହୁଥିଲୁ ମା କହିଲୁ ଭୁଲିଗଲି ଅନ୍ୟ ମନ
ସେ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ବେସିକ ନିଡ୍ସ କୁ ଧ୍ୟାନରେ ରଖି ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଘର ବନାଇକି ସେଥିରେ ସବୁ ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରିସିଟି ହଉ କି ୱାଟର ଫ୍ୟାସିଲିଟି ହଉ ସବୁ କିଛି ଯୋଗେଇ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି
ସୋମ୍ୟା କ'ଣ କହୁଥିଲୁ ମା
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ଯେମିତି ସୁଚିସ୍ମିତା କହିଲେ ସେ ମାନେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ପୁରା ହାଉସିଂ ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କର ଲିଭଲିହୁଡ ହେଲା ତାଙ୍କର ସବୁ ଯାହା ବି ନହେଲେ ମେ ବି କମ୍ପନସେସନ ବି ତାଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ କରାହେଇପାରିବ
ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଉଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ when the people are to be displaced from one place to another place whether they are slum dwellers or the common people then permission has to be taken by the government displacement policy is also there rehabilitation policy is also there लोक मानू जिते बड़े विस्थापन करा गोटे जगार उठे दि से पॉलिसी रही प्रथम कौन हम ए notice has to be served among the people that for these reasons you have to be displaced from this place to another place. Do you agree with it? Give your consent. That means permission has to be taken off by the government. Then when government notifies that such and such work is to be undertaken in that locality, permission has to be taken from the people. When permission is taken, the government will start giving compensation to them because they have to leave their parental property. Because we people, we have a special attachment with our parental property. के पितृकेन्द्रिक जगह को पूर्वपुरुषर भाटी को भाटी बुझीपार तो जगह को कई छाड़िया को पसंद करे देयर इज अटैचमेंट से अटैचमेंट को एते शीघ्र डेट्रैक्ट करिकी अन्य जगह नहीं बसैब से जगह प्रति प्रीति बढ़िबो अब हुए नहीं सो द पीपल दे स्टार्ट रिवोल्टिंग अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी गवर्नमेंट से कौन करे नेगोशिएशन करे कौन तुम माने चाहो से कौन करा पठा जाए पूर्व आज यू सुचिस्मा समय एंड संतोष यू हैव सेड दैट देयर मस्ट बी व्हाट देयर मस्ट बी हाउसिंग सिस्टम हाउस मस्ट बी बिल्ट अप
थिले भी हबो ना
हां
एंड जदी गवर्नमेंट जगह रे से थिबे तांको मध्यम मिलियो सर
गवर्नमेंट जगार थे कौ मान था कि सरकारी जगह टाउन ने स्लम डुवेलर्स पा कहूली सब पूर्व स्लम डुवेलर को जिते उठागला आम घर पाखर उठेकी नहीं जगतपुर रखागला किसी लोक को कल्याणनगर पाखर बाथरूहन पाखर उठाई दिगला कौटे जो अंदरपुर पाखे रखागला प्रथम लगी घर करागला पानी वाटर सप्लाई फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पिला माने खेलवा लगी पार्क
सर सेगुडा तकर पेरेंटल प्रॉपर्टी रे जिबोनी
पैरेंटाल प्रॉपर्टी नुहे किंतु जेहेतु गोटे लोक सरकार नियम रही गोटे लोक को देख से माने अल्टीमेटली कोठी केस फाइल करता थे ह्यूमन राइट रे फाइल करता थे केस करता थे ना करना था वी आर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स वी हैव एवरी राइट टू हैव लाइवलीहुड आमे livelihood ये कर we are earning our livelihood even in this part no doubt we admit that this is a government place
okay sir.
And it is free it is not been possessed by someone else we are living you are human beings you cannot throw overnight हमको राती अदिया फोपाड़ दबो न उठे की कोठी हम कोन कचरा rubbish that you can throw into the dustbin no so there is a police because government will be defamed आरो कथाटा बुझ पड़नो की खाली उठेवा न उठे भांगी देवा नुह बर्तमान ओमपी छक जो जीक दुकान थी फल दुकान बसी ना ओमपी छक के आसला आसी न सो देयर इज ए प्रॉब्लम लोक मैंने थे छाई बसुले फल किणुले कि बर्तमान किसी ना and the views of the people that is against the government or in favor of the government against the government and जदि लोक मानकर भॉइस टा लोक सरकार विरुद्ध रे गला इलेक्शन में कोन हो सरकार से दल जितिबो पुणी ना हारिबो हारिबो सो नेचुरली देयर इज एप्रिहेंशन गवर्नमेंट कहबो कि इमीडिएटली तांको ये कर दबो डिस्प्लेस करिवो नो वंस दे विल बी डिस्प्लेस्ड बिफोर डिस्प्लेसमेंट देयर मस्ट बी प्रॉपर प्लानिंग ऑफ हाउसिंग इलेक्ट्रिक सप्लाई वाटर सप्लाई amusement educational system primary construction of primary schools everything has to be undertaken by the government then they will be shifted from one place to another place the place where the houses have been built up जो घर तैयारी कर देला सेठी शिफ्ट करा हबो किंतु दिया हबो कोन खाद्य रेशन दिया जिवो मिनिमम 10 days or 15 days 20 दिन पर्यंत मासक पर्यंत फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट रेशन दिया खाइबा लगे कहीं कारण इमिडिएटली से माने कौन जगह बिजनेस पाइबे नहीं काम करें ना गोटे जगार अलग जगह जाइए सागे सागे कौन मिल जाव तुमको अपॉर्चुनिटी कौट काम करें क्या घरे
नो सर
ମାସ ତେଣୁ ମାସେ 1.5 ମାସ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ସରକାର ତାଙ୍କୁ ଖାଇବାକୁ ଦେଲେ ରୋଷେଇ କରି and we are involved. So here is the point. When the question of basic needs of the individual or the society is involved, these basic problems has to be identified fast, and accordingly policy has to be framed. The third one is what did I say? Initiative has to be taken, and planning. Proper planning must be there. Proper planning. And who will be involved in that process? Different organizations, groups, and even the political party, executive and legislative. Or Mantri will be there, Neta will be there in that group, political people will be there, bureaucrats will be there, proper planners must be there. Planners ନ ରହିଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ? ଆରେ ପ୍ଲାନର୍ସ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି? ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତି, ଚକ୍ ଆଉଟ୍ କରନ୍ତି। ଯେ ଏଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ରହିବା ଦରକାର, ଏଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଘର ହେଲା, ଏଇ ଜାଗାଠୁ ୱାଟର ସପ୍ଲାଏ ହବ, ଏଇଠୁ ଇଲେକ୍ଟ୍ରିସିଟି ରହିବ, ଏଇଠୁ ଆମ୍ୟୁଜମେଣ୍ଟ ପାର୍କ ରହିବ, ଇଏ ସବୁ ଏଇଠି ଲାଇବ୍ରେରୀ ରହିବ, ଏଟସେଟ୍ରା ଏଟସେଟ୍ରା. You have to make the plan. You have to check out the plan. Engineers will be there. What is this? Before implementation, before formulation of policies, this thing has to be taken into consideration. Then is what? Implementation of policy through bureau. Once the policy is framed, for example, life insurance policy. What they say? You die. It is better to die than to survive. नहीं? अरे LIC वाला आसते ना नहीं PLS वाला विभिन्न आजिकल एट कौन टाटा AIG HDFC वाला तो विभिन्न प्रकार पॉलिसी कर कौन कौन कले तो मरीगला पर अरे मरीगला पर तामाने तो मरजा मरीगले शीघ्र पाइबो पॉलिसी. Do you understand now? That is life insurance policies are there. Then agricultural policies are there. ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର ପଲିସି ଦେଖୁଛେ. ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ପଲିସି ହଉଛି ତା ଦେହରେ it has to be implemented by whom? By the bureaucrats. Because remember one thing, bureaucrats, they know the technique to implement the policies by involving the subordinate officers. Top bureaucrat secretary हो वा chief secretary हो तुम किए गोटे जन chief secretary शब्द बोली कोई दिला ता भीतर संतोष कुमार ना को. Then they were what they do? They are involved in what? Involved in the implementation of policy. Once policy is implemented, they also think about the consequences. Consequences, what will be the result? So, if the result is bad, it has bad impact upon the people, immediately the implementation, the continuance of that policy is stopped. बहुत क्षेत्र रे policy काम कला आलको तार bad impact लोगों को ऊपर पड़ी that has been stopped and that has been withdrawn. जेमती आजिकली फेक बेनिफिशियरीज बाहर जाउछथि नाही एबे जो पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम रे केते बाहरले जते वन विच डाटा कोन तमरो आधार कार्ड से तो लिंकेज करा गला रेशन कार्ड को तो कोन करा गला देखा गला lakhs of fake beneficiaries are there. Those who are enjoying, even the bureaucrats were there also, they were getting the benefit. बहुत बड़ा बड़ा ऑफिसर भी ताजरे इस काम रे इन्वॉल्व थे. ताले कौन हुए सरकार बेले बेले जदि पॉलिसी फेलियर जदि लोगों को ऊपर खराब प्रभाव पड़े सरकार ताको करते बुझ लो तापर सबुठी इंपोर्टेंट होची evaluation of policy and that is your analysis of policy and its result impact upon the evaluation मझे जो implementation evaluation मझे आउ गोटे stage रहला तो बॉय एटी नाही. That is supervision and monitoring. Remember it, you can note it down. Write down the one of the most important aspects of policy implementation is monitoring of the policy. And its processes. while monitoring, if any defects is found, while monitoring, if any defects is found, it has to be rectified immediately. It has to be rectified immediately. It has to be rectified immediately. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Particular comment? Hello?
Yes, sir.
1 minute, 1 minute. मत देखा ये हेलो हेलो
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
हाँ तापर होची जे आम डिस्कशन करते रोल ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी तुम अच्छी जहाँ रोल ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी इन पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेशन ये अच्छी रोल ऑफ मिडिल लेवल ब्यूरोक्रेट्स रोल ऑफ टॉप लेवल ब्यूरोक्रेट्स रोल ऑफ हाँ ओनली टू इनफॉरमेशन बेस नॉलेज हाँ कौन हला संतोष कौन पचार कि
नहीं सर
and information based knowledge and experience, permanence in service, advisory expertise. हाँ कही जे एठी रहला तब रोल ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी तो पाखरे बही अछि कि का पाखरे
आज्ञा सर.
Yes, sir.
पेज खोलो 172 ओपन द बुक पेज नंबर 172 खोल लगी
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
you just you while it is written role of bureaucracy in policy formulation just read 3 sentences from the top. And in reality, you just see what is written. In reality, however, bureaucracy is deeply involved in the policy articulation and shaping of policies as the policy process stresses on the identification of policy problem and policy agenda. Do you follow my point? Then after it is written, we contend that the government's inaction can have just as great an impact on the society as government action. भावनी सरकार केवल जो पॉलिसी तैयारी कर दउचंती सेटार केवल प्रभाव पड़े गवर्नमेंट जदि सरकार इनएक्शन हुए तार भी मध्य बैड इफेक्ट लोक ऊपर पड़े ता माने द गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट रिमेन एज ए साइपर साइपर बुझ परछ साइबर माने एम चुपचाप स्टैंड स्टिल लेकी बसी परिबो नाइ आइदर यू हैव टू टेक सर्टेन एक्शन वी अंडरस्टैंड otherwise the people will start revolting against the government. And the role of middle level bureaucrats, it is often presumed that the only top official head of the department, ମୁଁ ବୁଝେଇ ଦଉଛି ତାକୁ ଏଠି ପଢିବା ତମେ ତମର ପଛରେ ପଢିବ ଯେ middle level ମୁଁ କହିସାରିଛି already ଯେ ରହିଲା ଯୋଉ role of middle level bureaucrat particularly the state civil servant mostly if you like to write you can write it down also you can note it down the middle that is what the middle level bureaucrats देखो the middle level bureaucrats they are mostly involved in the fact finding analyzing the existing policies ମୁଁ simplify କରିକି ଡାକି ଦଉଛି ଅଳ୍ପରେ ଲେଖିନି analyzing the existing policies and pointing out the important points, pointing out the important points to their superiors and they talk about the remedies and the requirement. They talk about the remedies and requirement and also suggest for the alternative strategy to be followed. The next paragraph, the minister and the top bureaucrats have a greater role in public policy and these ministers and top bureaucrats are more involved because they are ultimately responsible for the success and failure of the policy. Next, another point around role of top level bureaucrats. The top level bureaucrats are in the direct contact with the minister, are in direct contact of the minister and they include their specialized and expertise knowledge. They include their expertise knowledge and go insight into the proposals and go inside of the proposal. And they put it before the minister for its legitimate cognizance Here, next paragraph, here the bureaucrats are involved in policy process and in what way they influence the policy making, आर पॉइंट करके लिखो आर नंबर 1 जहाँ देती तुम बही से खाली कही दूसरी नंबर 1 इज इंफॉर्मेशन बेस हाँ as per constitutional provisions be quick as per constitutional provisions the bureaucrats advise the ministers to take a final decision and the bureaucrats they deal with the procedure and the routine work. Number 2, yes, କହିସାରିଛି ତୁମକୁ ଆଗରୁ expertise knowledge ଯୋଉ ରହିଛି experience ରହିଛି the bureaucrats number 2 knowledge and experience heading करो knowledge and experience the bureaucrats be quick the bureaucrats have specialized knowledge and training whereby they have accumulated vast knowledge and vast knowledge about the repercussion about the repercussion means consequences about the repercussion of the public policy stuff. Accordingly they advise and guide the minister. Number 3, permanence of service. Number 3, permanence of service. The ministers. Permanence of service. The ministers remain in office. Suchishmita lekhucho to?
Yes, sir.
Remain in office for a temporary period, whereas the bureaucrats remain in service till they complete the age of superannuation. And due to their expert knowledge of the work done during their career help them to determine the policy policy formulation and implementation. Number 4, advisory expertise. The bureaucrats or the public officials provide the expertise, provides the expertise, knowledge, relating to the relating to the realistic public policy. They provide proper facts, figures, data, analysis, and consequences of any public policy. Of any public policy. When policies are framed, is placed in the legislature, for approval and needs the consent of the top executive. Top executive किए प्रेसिडेंट बा गवर्नर, सेंटर हेले राष्ट्रपति, राज्य हेले गवर्नर. With this I wind up the class today, and tomorrow we have only class left, and when I will talk about something the Indian bureaucracy. The role of bureaucracy, they perform the role of they sometimes they play the role of judicial office, just like judiciary. That means they play the role of a judge. And when the I have one question to all of you. Hello, my dear learners.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let me check your fundamental knowledge. As you know very well, government has how many organs?
3.
What are those?
Legislative,
Legislature, executive, judicial.
Legislative body, executive body, and judicial. As you know very well, the politicians, the members of legislature, they are laymen or they are the experts.
they are laymen.
They are laymen. Who are the experts?
Bureaucrats.
Bureaucrats are the experts. My submission is that when legislature make the skeleton of the law and leave everything to the executive, delegate the power to executive to finalize, that is known as what in administration? Who can speak? That means when executive,
Bill.
What did you say, Santosh?
Bill.
Bill. ମୁଁ କ'ଣ କହିଲି ବୁଝିପାରିଲନି? ଆଇନ କରିବା ହେଲା ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥାପିକାର କାମ. ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥାପିକାର ଲୋକମାନେ ବା ମେମ୍ବର ମାନେ ସେମାନେ ଏତେ ଜ୍ଞାନୀ ନୁହନ୍ତି, ଶିକ୍ଷିତ ନୁହନ୍ତି, ତାଙ୍କର ଏତେ ଏକ୍ସପର୍ଟାଇଜ ନଲେଜ ନାହିଁ, ତେଣୁ ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି, ଲର ସ୍କେଲିଟନଟା କରିଦିଅନ୍ତି ଆଉ ରେଷ୍ଟ ଜିନିଷଟା ଛାଡ଼ି ଦିଅନ୍ତି ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁଟିଭ ଉପରେ. ତାମାନେ ଏକ୍ଜିକ୍ୟୁଟିଭଟା ଯେଉଁ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରେ, ଆଇନ ପ୍ରଣୟନ ଯେଉଁ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟଟା କରେ, ତାକୁ କ'ଣ କୁହାଯାଏ? ଶିକ୍ଷକ ଆଡମିନିଷ୍ଟ୍ରେସନ. The process is known as what? It is called as delegated legislation, or it is called as subordinated legislation. Manala?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Legislation कार कार्य? Legislation ना executive? लेजिस्लेचर से कामटा कला किए एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर ब्यूरोक्रेट डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर आईन करदेला स्केलेटन करदेला पार्लियामेंट आईन तैयारी करदेला ये कलेक्टर बड़ बड़ ऑफिसर से बसले आईडी को बाटे तुम से कार्य लगे डेलीगेटेड सेमती अनेक गुड़िए कार्य जुडिशियल कार्य इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ लॉ is also done by the executive, that is called as administrative adjudication. ये दीटा को मुकाली पढ़ेवी दीटा को very important for all of you. Delegated legislation and administrative adjudication. Note it down. मत काली मने पके लिख रखो delegated legislation आ गोटे हला administrative adjudication हला
Yes, sir.
Yes.
दीटा को मत काली मने पको मु कहि दे. So you lead the class.
Thank you, sir.
Question there, sir.
कौन है संतोष?
Sir, why the bureaucrats are called white elephants?
Why they call? You tell me why they are called as elephant and why elephant not black?
People always say bureaucrats are white elephants.
Why? रोबो फर बरटा से माने कौन पे इधर कोई जे white elephant बोली कहीं कोई जे तमें कोनो बुझ पर न कौन white elephant बोली कहीं कोई जे सबुतरे थाई कोउतरे न थाई हाँ
सर करप्शन करछन बोली ने
नाई नाई व्हाइट एलिफेंट एथिला कि सबु करंती कोउथरे न थांती तार अर्थ कोन मले मरिवो किए मंत्री पड़ियो हणा खाइयो कावटरे हणा किए खाइबो पार्लियामेंट रो होबा असेंबली रो हणा किए खाइबो मंत्री जदि किए भूल एडवाइस देथिबो अरे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स कोन करथिबे मंत्री को गाइड कर देले तो
Yes.
हेलो
सर
अरे कौन हो तुम कह तो कथा तो कह कथा न कहले मुझे जानी मंत्री के किए एडवाइस देगी
सर ब्यूरोक्रेट्स
ब्यूरोक्रेट एडवाइस देले कौन हम जदि कौन से असुविधा हला लैप्सेस हला हु विल फेस द कॉन्सिक्वेंस लोक गाड़ी करिवे का
मंत्री
मंत्री को पार्लियामेंट हो बा विधानसभा रे हो गाड़ी कहाँ पर पड़िबो ये उत्तरदायी इट इज द ऑफिसर और इट इज द मिनिस्टर हु इज रेस्पोंसिबल
मिनिस्टर
सो अल्टीमेटली मिनिस्टर भद्र लोक किए गला एटी जेंटलमैन किए व्हाइट जेंटलमैन
ब्यूरोक्रेट्स
कहा भूल लगी किए दंड पाइला
सर
ऑफिसर रो ब्यूरोक्रेट रो भूल पाई मंत्री दंड पाइला
आगे
ताले जो ब्यूरोक्रेट ता कोन रहला आज इट इज जस्ट लाइक ए व्हाइट एलिफेंट he looks that he doesn't do anything but he does everything सब जिनिस सिविल सर्वेंट माने करंती किंतु दे प्रोजेक्ट देमसेल्फ दैट वी आर वेरी क्लीन वी आर वेरी सिंसियर वी आर नॉट डिसऑनेस्ट वी आर वेरी ऑनेस्ट बट करप्शन स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द ब्यूरोक्रेट दे नो हाउ टू यूज द पावर in their own favor and they know how to make the government collapse जदि ब्यूरोक्रेट्स माने मिसी जिवे ना ताका माइंड सेट करिवो इमीडिएटली द गवर्नमेंट विल कोलैप्स एभलिया पॉलिसी तैयारी करी थोइ देबे एभलिया सिचुएशन एभलिया माहौल तैयारी कर देबे जो माहौल ले सरकार किछि करि परियो ना काई ताकर तो ज्ञान ही नहीं आउ तुमको ना कहिया को गोटे गोटे डिपार्टमेंट रे मंत्री चलाती नहीं काम एवरीथिंग इज बीइंग कंट्रोल्ड एंड एक्सरसाइज्ड बाय द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स ऑफ द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट यू अंडरस्टैंड
यस सर
देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एग्जांपल्स लॉट ऑफ पावरफुल civil servant in Odisha I don't like to name them they are continuing as such maybe in police administration also they hold the key position by influencing the government and sometimes government the minister they bow down before the secretary बढ़िया सिचुएशन है जोटी मंत्री गले सेक्रेटरी ठिया होगा तो सेक्रेटरी बस मंत्री जाके आगे सामने ठिया मुंड झुक This is not the principle because the ministers are the people's representative. It is the bureaucrat, they should show respect to them. But Sanjeev Hota na shuniche Odisha re. Sanjeev Hota, one of the topmost IAS officers. He was the
finance
a lot of people, I don't like to name, I am a lot of civil servants, those who are very adamant. They do not see, they do not hear the voice of the minister. They are so adamant that whatever they want, they do. They are always fight elephant. They are very clean. ଆମେ କାହା ଉପରେ ଫୋପାଡୁ ଗାର୍ବେ ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀଙ୍କ ଉପରେ କାଦୁଅ ଫୋପାଡୁ କାହା ଉପରକୁ ଅଣ୍ଡା ମାଡ଼ କରୁ କାହା ଉପରକୁ ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ କୋଉ ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଶିକ୍ଷା ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ କୃଷି ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ ମୁଖ୍ୟମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ ଆମେ କେବେ କୌଣସି ଅଫିସରଙ୍କ ନାଁରେ ଦେଖିଛ ଇଏ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ ମୁର୍ଦାବାଦ ସେମାନେ ସବୁବେଳେ they are always. With this I wind up, you just leave the class. I have one social function, I have to go. You wind up the class. Bye. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye. Good
Thank you,
night.
sir.
Take care. Take care. You leave one by one. Hello, Tapan Babu. Tapan Babu. Class is closed.